So we're about ready to go. Our official is Tuki Kravitz from Mexico. He's supported by two other Mexican officials, Martel over on the left side of your screen and Morales over on the right side. We have an appeal system in place, and that's why we have line judges. Each team is entitled to 3 appeals per game. If they have an appeal won, i.e. the call is reversed, they don't lose that appeal. They get to keep it. So in the back, on the right side is Como from Canada. On the left, Webb. Webb will be going home with a bronze medal in singles in his final outing at the juniors for Team Canada. He'd prefer a different color in doubles. We'll see if they can do that. Here we go, 0-0. So Montero claims the first point for Costa Rica. He's the only one that gets to serve at the beginning of the game. If he loses a rally, then it's a side out. It's one of those rules in racquetball that the first time you start a game, only one of the two gets a chance to serve for points. One serving one. Great hands from the Canadian on the right side. Half out, fist bump from the Costa Ricans. On the left of your screen is Ortega. He's a very fiery player, very animated, so expect to see some fireworks from him. Definitely shows how he's feeling on his face, win or lose. Three serving one, Canada. So a point was given, and Costa Rica are going to appeal. Acuna says, I was impeded from my shot, so I think he's appealing for either an avoidable hinder or a replay. It looks like a replay. You saw the thumbs go down from both line judges, which means the call's overturned. A point is taken off the scoreboard, and we're still at 3-1. Highlights the value of having line judges. Sometimes calls are made, and if there's just one referee there, the call always has to stand, even if it's a poor one. Soft hands from Webb, guides it across the court. 5 serving one. Great wide angle from Como. Hits the sidewall, bounces to the middle of the back. Both players standing side by side. Nobody's home deep. 6-1. Good start from the Canadians. This is what they wanted. And another point. I'm surprised the Costa Ricans haven't taken a timeout here. Well, that's good timing because indeed they do. They're going to have a discussion. They haven't started this game well at all. We have a full schedule of international racquetball coming up over the next 12 months, and so I wanted to share some of those dates with you just so that you're aware and ready to watch our live stream as we provide coverage of some of these events. The Pan Am Championships is an IRF event, which is from the 23rd to the 31st of March in Chile. The South American Games are a multi-game event in which racquetball is included. They will be in Bolivia from the 28th of May to the 3rd of June. Also a multi-sport event is the Central American and Caribbean Games. They will be in Colombia from the 24th to the 30th of July. The World Championships, an IRF event, will be in China from the 10th to the 18th of August. Senior World Championships, 35 plus is the age bracket it starts, all the way up to 95 plus. We had a 295 plus entrants this year, which was incredible to watch. They will be held the last weekend in August. And then last but not least, the Junior World Championships, the 2nd to the 10th of November, location yet to be determined. Back to the action, 7-1. Great serve. Side out, excuse me, the timeout worked. Costa Rica needs some momentum. They have 2 opportunities. Let's see if they can pull it out. There's an example of the jam serve. Acuna really didn't move his feet, caught a little unprepared, half out. Very unusual swing when he serves. Really gets his racket really high above his head, almost like a golf swing. Canada, though, no points for Costa Rica, 7-1. Sticking with that lob serve, it's an excellent nick lob. And a replay, hinder called. Wow. You can see Montero, he likes that shot. Reverse pinch from his forehand. Goes across his body to the right side front wall. Costa Rica do play with emotion, and I think that's important. They need to get themselves going here. They seem a little flat right now. Side out called. Well, Canada is going to appeal this. He wants a safety hold-up replay. We'll see if he gets it. So line judges, again, both overrule the official. Change of serve. Another safety hold up. We've had several in this match so far. And yet another replay. Another safety holdup. Serve straight down the middle and punished by Webb. So you saw there, as I mentioned, we have in the back a left-handed player and a right-handed player. So the serve down the middle is an attempt to create some confusion. Webb mixing up his serves. And Acuna hits the ball above the 12-foot line. And above that is a net, and the ball goes out. Because he hit it straight out, it's a loss of point. It's 8 serving 1. Another point given. Acuna doesn't like it. He can appeal. He has 3 appeals. If he doesn't like it, why not use the appeal? You have 3 of them. Who knows, maybe the line judges will agree with you. They have twice already overturned our official, Tuki Kravets. Let's see if that gets them going. It's been all Canada right now. Canada just playing mistake-free, and that's been the big difference in this first game. This time an avoidable hinder is called. I don't see there's any reason to discuss this beyond we just want to appeal this decision. So let's see what the line judges agree. And both agree with our official this time, so the call stands. I have to agree with the official myself, but you can decide yourself. Did Webb impede Montero's shot? Cross court or down the line, straight in. So this time an avoidable hinder is given to Canada. So it's been a scrappy start to this first game. Lots of safety holdups, avoidable hinders, plenty of controversy to talk about. Really, the team that settles down and tries to play fluid and clean is going to be the most successful in this match. You have a feeling there's a little bit of nerves going on, but right now Canada are the ones seemingly in control. Costa Rica playing too much defense. Finally, Montero puts it down. 2 serving 10. Points for Costa Rica. Let's see if that settles them down. That wide swing from Acuna. Not that time. Montero tried to go through his legs. It didn't work. Side out Canada. Second server. Webb has been mixing up his lob serves. Let's see what he does here. Down the middle. So Webb is indicating that he's being pushed. And more conversation with our official. We've seen more conversation in this match than we have all day with any official. Conversation between the two teams. Great hands, Montero. And Webb. Como points to his head, looks to the ceiling. Side out, Costa Rica. 4 serving 10. We've been here a while. Canada raced to a 10-1 lead. Skip ball, Acuna, look at his face. Looking down, shoulders slumped. He knows he should have done better. Second server. And another mistake from the racket of Acuna. He needs to stay positive. No points again for Costa Rica. 10 serving 4. Good shot, Costa Rica. Let's see if that gets them going. That time Webb went behind his back, tried to flick it up to the ceiling. Wasn't able to do so. Side out again. We're still at 4-10. You feel like there's definitely some pressure on that court, maybe a little nerves. This is important for both countries. Montero slides one over to the right side, catching the Canadian unawares, and it dies in the corner for a point. Montero, beautiful forehand splat shot, hits the sidewall, front wall. Timeout, Canada. Well, this is the final match today. Most of the matches we've streamed have been semifinals. We've had a few round robins in the divisions where everybody plays everybody else. But we spent the majority of the first few days with a round robin format that determines seedings for this single elimination bracket. Third place is a joint award to the losers in the semifinals. Here we have Canada and Costa Rica trying their best to make it into the gold or silver medal position. Over on court number 2, that battle on the other side of the bracket is going on. And these are the last 2 matches going on today. We hope you've enjoyed the many, many, many hours of coverage we've provided this week and appreciate all your support, all the positive feedback we've received. We've really tried to improve on this stream, on this coverage, each and every tournament. Here we go. 6 serving 10. Costa Rica, point by point, climbing their way back in. They've won 5 in a row against Canada. Great timeout, Canada. Second server. Well, this time Acuna doesn't even appeal. He skipped the ball in. So the rule on the serve, if it's a first serve, doesn't matter on a second serve, but if it's a first serve and you don't hit the front wall first, you don't get a second chance, a second serve. Good call from our official, 2 bounces. A good way of remembering it on a serve is, as I tell my students, if you can't hit the front wall from the service box and you can't hit it first, then you don't deserve another chance to get that second serve. It's right there in front of you. So you hit the floor, ceiling, or sidewalls first, it's an automatic side out. Wow, tough shot, Montero. Screams to his teammate. Behind us, I and the broadcast team are enjoying some motivational music as the class goes on behind us. Skip from Como. (7-10), 1 by 1. Costa Rica creep into this. And look at this. Looks like they're switching to serve to the right side consistently. Now the pair crossed. Backhands only. Great shot from Montero. I think he's appealing that the ball hit him. More conversation continues. And Webb is just asking, it was in Spanish, so Webb is asking what Montero was asking or saying. Two appeals used by Canada. Terrific shot, Costa Rica. Suddenly we have a game. Second game, I suspect, will be quite close. 9-10. Acuna. Beautiful, soft control from Webb. He knows how to change pace. Second server, 9-10. Acuna wants the floor cleaned. This is a situation where officials have the opportunity referees have the opportunity to ask players to change their shirts. It's one of the IRF rules to stop situations like this. So we might see that at some point where our official asks him to change his shirt if he continues to dive. Nine serving 10. Acuna, that wide swing results in a skip from Como. 9 points in a row for Costa Rica. Wow. We didn't see this coming when Canada were leading 10-1. Avoidable hinder called. So you can see the expression from Acuna. He doesn't like this. Avoidable hinder is confirmed. So 2 appeals used by Canada, 1 by Costa Rica. This is a situation, if I'm Canada, I don't use an appeal unless I'm absolutely sure of the call, because you don't want to be in game point where something happens that gives Costa Rica the game when that appeal could have overturned it. If you don't save one, you may regret it later, so don't waste it. Second server, 10-10. Finally a point for Canada. They were up 10-1. Now it's 11-10. Side out. It's a little chippy on the court. 10 serving 11. This is a very, very close game one, considering how it started. That was tough. Montero did well. And he lost it in the glass. Puts it into the floor, looks to the heavens. Second server. Nobody wants to make a mistake. Through the legs, Montero. Tied it up, 11-11. Oh, good hands from Webb. Controlled the pace. I'd like to see Acuna go back down the line. He's going cross court a lot to Webb, who on paper is the better player given his finish in the singles. Como 11-11, they have two chances to gain some points. Ball hits Acuna, 12-11. So the Costa Rican coaches here are encouraging the players to appeal, saying that it was a screen, they couldn't see it. I think one agreed and one disagreed. You can make up a decision. A screen was probably a good call, but it doesn't matter. Canada are up 13-11. Costa Rica are going to take their second and final timeout. This is the 2017 Junior World Championships. We have been all over the world over the last few years for this Junior World Championships, but we appreciate the hospitality of Lifetime Fitness here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's such an amazing venue. There is so much going on here. Not only is the racquetball being played, but a lot of the players, coaches, I saw officials this morning having pickleball games, table tennis games, basketball games. There's so much energy in this tournament. It really is a great event. And if you can ever come to one of these, I encourage you to do so, to see these young athletes in person. The power and precision that they have is truly amazing. Meanwhile, on court, Canada, first server, 13-11, 2 points away from this first game. We are 32 minutes into this match. Replay call. (13-11). That time Acuna hits it 6 inches lower than he has been. Excellent shooting. You get the feeling that this first game is going to be down to mental toughness. It's nervy in there. You can see Montero in the back hitting his chest with his racket. What hands from the right-sided Canadian. Brings up game point number 1, 14-11. There's game 1. Canada take it. They race to a 10-1 lead. Costa Rica came back, made it 10-10, but eventually Canada closed out game number 1, 15-11. We're going to take a short commercial break and thank our sponsors and partners, and we'll be back with you for game number 2. And we're back for the resumption of game number 2. Canada serving first. They won the first 15-11. It was a little chippy. Lots of replays. Canada went out fast. Costa Rica caught them at 10-10. And then Canada pulled away to take it by 4. So let's see what Costa Rica do. Will Canada settle down and just race away? Or will Costa Rica force this to a tiebreaker? Not sure what we're waiting on. Okay, here we go. 0 serving 0. Como to serve. One of the questions we had in the chat box was, do players not get an extra appeal if it's a game point? And the answer is no. 3 appeals is all they get, and if they use them, sorry about that. Too bad. I'm not sure about this call. Replay. Costa Rica might want to appeal this. They have 3. They elect not to. Canada strike first. Montero skips it. Looks like Acuna is changing out his racket. That's an equipment timeout. So if they break their strings, for example, they are afforded an official's timeout where they can change their equipment. Acuna likes the wraparound shots, and when we were there at the San Jose, Costa Rica Pan Am Championships, they worked very effectively because the ball was very warm. It was humid there, and so ceiling balls came off the back wall a lot, and so wraparounds were quite effective. Here you can see he's hitting them again, but they're coming off the back wall, allowing Canada to be offensive. 3-0. Oh, that will be a court hinder. You could see that. Blew off that cement against the glass. Side out. Canada will appeal this. Okay, so our line judges overruled the official. The official called good shot. The two line judges disagreed with the head official, and a point is given for 4-0. This is how Canada started game number 1. Another point. They're shooting the ball up in the service box. Costa Rica have to get them into the back court to get this side out. (5-0). An avoidable hinder is called this time. Como doesn't like it, but they don't appeal it. 0-5. So 5 points off that first opportunity to serve for Canada. Yet another replay. Acuna's frustrated. I don't know if he's frustrated at the Canadians continually asking for replays or frustrated with himself for being in the way. There's an avoidable hinder. Side out, or half out, excuse me. Our official calls point, 2 bounces. Webb says he couldn't see, doesn't appeal it. 1-5, Costa Rica on the board. Good serve, Acuna. Skip ball. 5-1. It's a bit scrappy. There's a lot on the line for these two teams. For some of these players, it's the last opportunity to be in a final at the World Junior Championships. Excellent shot on the left side from Montero. He seems to play better when he gets fired up. Acuna, maybe less so. It's the difference between doubles partners. One may need to pump up the other, one may need to calm down the other, and it's understanding how your partner performs best in doubles. Good shot, Montero. A couple good shots in a row. You can hear them shouting now, trying to get themselves going. 1 serving 5. Okay, so something happened in this situation. You saw Acuña's behavior, his actions after that avoidable hinder. He wasn't too thrilled with the decision, and it's my understanding that the official gave him a technical. A technical is -1 point. And so because of that, they were at 1 serving 5. It went back to 0 serving 5. Now it's 2-5. 3 technicals in a match results in a forfeit. And I think replay, he was free. He had the opportunity down the line. That's a difficult call. Line judges, 1 agrees, 1 disagrees, so the call stands. 2 serving 5. Well, it's getting a little testy on the court. You can see conversation going on. I mean, ultimately, you don't want a player to swing when they're too close. So you can see our official Tuki Kravitz is going to go down and have a conversation with the players, and I really like this. He's got to get a hold of this match. You can see there's too much conversation going on. They need to calm down, focus on what they're supposed to be doing, which is playing racquetball. This is the value of having an official. It allows things to be held in a situation that controls the match. And again, these referees are well trained. They come on a regular basis. Kravitz has been officiating for several years with the IRF, and we appreciate all the officials. It's not an easy job, as you can see. It's very difficult to try and control emotions when so much is on the line for these young adults, many of whom are even juniors 10, 12, 14, and 16. And it can be very, very emotional on the court. Montero. Half out's the call. Well, this is a very dramatic match, the last of the day. Canada raced to a 10-1 lead in the first. It became 10-10, and then Canada slowly pulled it out. This game, too, though, has been all drama with Acuña boasting it to the front wall. Side wall to the other side wall, dies on the front wall. You could see the enthusiasm on his face. They're up for this, but they're still down 2-5. Good call. Acuña was unsighted. Of course, if you're interested in any of the rules or how racquetball is played, you can visit our website, internationalracquetball.com. We have all the information there. Montero diving for the ball, not able to get there. Half out. They just can't score when they get opportunities to serve. So Acuna dives. We're going to take a quick replay look at Acuna's shot. Webb first. There it is. Sidewall dives. Look at that. Costa Rica very excited about that. Slap on the back from his teammate. Two fives. Second server. And a skip that time from Como on the right side. You can feel the tension out here. I can't imagine what it's like in that court. These two teams vying for a place in the final. That has to be an avoidable hinder. But a replay, I'm surprised. Straight shot to the front wall, down the line or cross court is the rule. Canada don't appeal. You can make your decision wherever you're watching. Avoidables and replays are probably the two most contentious decisions in racquetball. This time Webb guides it to the left corner, gets a side out, 5-3. Looks like Canada are going to take a timeout. That's their first of this second game. They get 1 minute to discuss it with their coaches. You can see head coach Michel Gagnon and Corey Osborne, the assistant coach, discussing that. Want to thank all our sponsors, and you can see them on the front wall there, for supporting the International Racquetball Federation. Pen is our official ball of the IRF. We use the Pro Pen green ball for these tournaments. eForce, you want to win? Or what? FixMyRacket.com. Rollout Racquetball, who did these t-shirts for this event. We appreciate that. And last but not least, Reaching Your Dream Foundation. Of course, if you are interested in partnering with the IRF, please do contact us. We're always looking for anyone who's interested in helping support our growth of the sport around the world. I want to thank all of the officials and staff who have made this event work flawlessly this week. It's never easy officiating. Looks like we have an equipment timeout. Now a little more conversation going on with our officials. All Mexican group officiating this match. Head official is Tuki Kravets. Over on the left is Jaime Martel. And on the right, Alejandro Morales. A lot of our officials are former players or current professional players. Some organize or run tournaments. They officiate in other events and are very experienced. Get trained here. We appreciate all they do. Here we go. A replay again. I've lost count. We've had so many replays in this match. That time Como went for a little too much. Second server. Smart shot there, would have been high percentage. Back up to the ceiling, forcing the Costa Ricans to shoot it from the back. Great serve from Webb. Montero skips it from the encroachment line. I have a feeling the winner of this match will be the one who makes the fewest mistakes. Neither team playing extremely well right now, hitting crisp shots. It's a little bit scrappy, so you want to play mistake-free. And a mistake from Como. I think he thought Webb was going to get that. It was a wide angle, hit the sidewall and bounce back to the middle. Webb was over on the left side. 3 serving 6. Second server, Costa Rica just struggling to win points when they serve. Another avoidable hinder. I don't think I've ever seen so many replays or avoidable hinders in any match I've ever seen for the IRF. Como this time calls a skip ball. Does our head official. 5 serving 6. Suddenly they're finding a couple of points. Webb. Good cover from Como. Montero hustles to the front wall. Avoidable hinder called. Well, this is a situation where the official needs to say, listen, you have the opportunity to appeal. Would you like to appeal that decision or not? We don't need to have a long discussion about it. It's not an argument. Appeal, yes or no, that's my call. So 1 agrees and 1 disagrees. So the call stands. Costa Rica lose an appeal. Side out, 6 serving 5. So there was a warning there for Canada because the score wasn't called before they served. So there's 2 situations in racquetball. One is a replay, and there's a variety of situations that can occur. One of them is a safety replay where somebody holds up because they didn't want to hit somebody. Another one is when, for example, in this situation, we hit the camera on the front wall. It's a replay or a bad bounce, something like that. Others may be where you hit another player and you're trying to play defensively. Great shot, Acuna. Hasn't hit many of those this game. An avoidable hinder is one where your opposition, your opponent, is in some way impeding your ability to hit that ball to the front wall, either by going across the court. There's a good example. Replay called. So you impede the player, either failing to move out of the way, blocking them in some way, etc. So it's a very contentious decision, typically. Rarely do you see somebody not complaining about an avoidable hinder. So there's an appeal on whether this was a skip or a good shot. Costa Rica lose another appeal. That's their second. They have 1 more. Point for Canada, 7-5. We are almost an hour into this match. So side out given. They'd already received a warning for serving before the score was called. I'm not sure it's a side out. It may be a technical. That's a strange call, and it's one that it's a delay of game essentially, because you're serving and requiring a discussion about it. It should be a technical, I believe. Again, that's one where I would have to go to the rule book and check because we rarely see it. Our rules are on our website, internationalracquetballfederation.com. We're getting the full spectrum of rules in this match, and I hope you're enjoying the controversy and the drama and the excitement. You know, this is racquetball. Sometimes we see terrific skill, terrific matches, just pure racquetball, and other times players just have to gut it out when they're not playing their best. Here's a situation where both teams are desperate to get to the final. It's huge for both of these countries. And Costa Rica are just fighting to stay in this second game because they want a tiebreaker. 7-7. Cross court. It's a corner shot, hits the front wall, then side wall before coming down. What you will see on some players is as the ball comes behind them, they will jump up and expect the opponent behind them to hit underneath them. That allows them to keep their court position in the middle. Of course, if they get hit by the ball, then it becomes, was it a safety or avoidable hinder? Ball is broken. Another interesting call. So the way the ball can be determined if it's broken is by squeezing it. If a player hits it, you saw, that's why Trevor Webb ran up to the front court, because he wanted to grab the ball and squeeze it to show it was broken. Therefore, the point is replayed. Had a player hit the ball and broke it after the rally had occurred, then the previous rally would stand. So good knowledge of the rules for the Canadian. They were just checking to make sure a point wasn't given. Another point for Costa Rica. They're starting to find their rhythm. Canada look a little flat in the back. Maybe a timeout could be used here, but they've already used one. They only have two. Acuna starting to play better. He didn't play well in game one. Starting to hit flatter. 10 serving 7. Sticking with these lob serves. Come on. Well, he got a little lucky. A smile from his teammate. Kind of framed it, but he'll take it in this situation. It gives Canada a side out. Canada take their second and final timeout. 7 serving 10. Reminder, we play to 15. You win by 1. If it's all tied, a tiebreaker is to 11. Again, you win by 1. So it gets very exciting. In our first match stream today, we had a 15-13, 13-15, and 11-10 in our first match. That was Fernandez from Mexico against Garcia from Bolivia in the boys 16s, and what a dramatic match that was. Of course, you can catch it on our previous feed on Facebook, and we really appreciate your support and sharing our feed and spreading racquetball around the world. We hope you're enjoying this coverage of the 2017 Junior World Championships. So here we go. Further conversation between the Canadians. 7-10. The Oni match going on this evening. All others are done. We just crossed the 1 hour mark. Great get, Webb. Oh, confusion between the Costa Rican pair. And again, they weren't sure who was going to take it. You can see Acuna, his shoulders are slumped. He knows he made a couple of mistakes there. He needs to regroup, head up, shoulder square, go for the next point. I think Como thought he got it. He elects not to appeal that. Eight serving 10, so difficult for an official when 4 people are in front of you and you're trying to determine whether the ball was a 1/4 inch above or below the front wall. Side out, Costa Rica, 10-8. They're fighting to stay in this match, 5 points away from a tiebreaker. Conversely, Canada, 7 points away from a final. And you saw Montero, he was leaning back as he hit that shot. Acuña's telling him to calm down, having a conversation. 10-8. Point Costa Rica, 4 points away. Oh my goodness. Kissed off the glass and Montero just lost it. You can see people walking by, looking through. It really makes it difficult to see that ball. Also, the glass has a different texture, and so it spins differently when it hits the glass versus the wall. Just one of those nuances of this court, court number 1 here at Lifetime Fitness in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Great shot, Montero goes cross court. Como not able to get there. You can see he's frustrated. These 4 quite emotional now. Wild from Montero. There's an example of both players jumping up out of the way so that Como didn't hit them. By the time they landed, the ball was down. 9 serving 11. You can cut the tension with a knife. Crowd watches on in silence. Wow, what a rally. Man, if I'm nervous, I can't imagine what those players are like. Looks like Costa Rica are taking a timeout. They have 1 minute to regroup. It's one of the changes the IRF made last year, was cutting down the number of timeouts in between games from 3 to 2. We just missed whether Como made that shot or not. You can see he's looking back and he's not sure, did I or didn't I? Canada, you can see having a discussion, hey, did he or didn't he? Looks like they elected not to appeal that. Speaking of appeals, we used to have 5 appeals, and then it was reduced to 3. And we used to also have a 5-minute break between games 2 and the tiebreaker, and that was reduced to 2, along with games 1 and 2. And the idea behind all of this was to speed up the matches, make them more entertaining for the audience, and keep things on schedule. An hour and 8 minutes into this match, and we're still in game 2. Costa Rica are serving 11-9. This is part of the team competition as well. Mexico won it on home soil last year. Players, depending on where they finish, are awarded points towards a team total. Last year, Mexico won the boys, the girls, and the combined. Wonderful wide-angle pass. Very effective in doubles because both players typically stand side to side, as Canada are doing here. And a skip Acuna. Side out. If you're just joining us, my name is Tim Baghurst, and we're watching a boys 18 singles. This could be the last opportunity for a couple of these players to represent their country at a Junior World Championships as they advance through to the senior divisions. Oh, terrific hands from Webb. What a touch. Guided it into the corner, and a point for Canada. And suddenly Canada find themselves 5 points away from this second game and match. So here at the World Juniors, we start with the 10-year-olds, and we actually have a couple of 8-year-olds competing in the 10s. And it's been amazing to watch them fly around the court. Really skillful. Speaking of skillful, look at Webb's touch as he wins that point. We hope you're enjoying this coverage. Ten serving 11. I'm not sure what's going on here. Wow, we're covering the full spectrum of rules here. The full spectrum. It's currently 10 serving 11. And Costa Rica have asked for a racket to be measured belonging to Webb. So the rule is that the racket has to be 22 inches in length. But when Webb put down his racket, it looked like his grip exceeded the 22 inches. And so what Costa Rican coaches, I think, have asked is for the official to measure the length of the racket. If it exceeds 22 inches, and I think there's an issue now with timeouts as well, because the Canadians asked for a timeout and they don't have any available. That should also be a technical delay of game. Wow. I've never commentated a match like this in my life, and you get to watch it. So here we go. They're going to the tournament desk to ask for an official ruling. In the other semifinal, Mexico, who are the favorites for this title, took on Ecuador and won 15-2, 15-5, so they're back at the hotel resting. And meanwhile, this match continues. We're an hour and 13 minutes in. We're only in the second game, and Costa Rica looking for this convincing second game to take it to a tiebreaker, and now we have a measurement of a racket, and then we have a timeout taken by Como, who didn't have any available. So here's a good lesson for Como. What he is allowed to do is ask the official, do I have any more timeouts remaining? And the official can say, no, you don't. Okay, I don't take a timeout. But he didn't. He came and said timeout. And then if he's asking for a timeout, he's delaying the game. Therefore, he, I believe, should receive a technical. So that would be 2 technicals for Canada, 1 for Costa Rica, assuming the racket is too long, which I think it is because we've already seen Canada have lost a point.
It should be going now on a new feed. Yeah, no, I'm not really putting any titles or anything. I'm just.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Tim Baghurst joining you live. I apologize for the feed cut. Okay, so a point was put back on the board. Sorry if you lost us. Our feed exceeded the 4-hour limit of Facebook. And so a point was put back on the board. It was 11-9. And then I think the technical was appealed for the racket. Was denied. It went to 11-8. And then it was appealed that Como had actually asked for a timeout. And I think that was overturned. Right, so 1 point was deducted, not 2. We'll try and find out what happened, but I think the technical was actually the length of the racket, not the timeout. But in theory, they could have received 2 technicals in that situation. 3 technicals, and it's a forfeit. Absolute madness. And of course, Canada have been coming to this tournament for years. Trevor Webb has been coming to the juniors for years. He knows what the length of his racket should be and should have actually cut his grip to make sure it was the exact length. So if he started it out and his grip was sliding off his racket, he should have taken a timeout or something and fixed it or switched his racket. And the reason that length is 22 inches is clearly because the longer the racket is, the more reach you have and potentially the more power you can generate. Looks like we're still discussing things. As I said, this has been one of the strangest matches I've ever commentated, but plenty of drama for all of us watching. So, from what I can gather, a technical was issued to Canada for a racket that was too long, and there was potentially a technical for a timeout requested, but they didn't receive a technical for that. Finally, we get on with this second game. Replay, good call. Como hit the sidewall and then hit the Costa Rican. Also seen more replays than I've ever seen in a match. Plenty of avoidable hinders. It's been a scrappy match, but it's because the moment is very big for these players. They're fighting for a final. Skip from Montero. 9 serving 11. They get back that point. Beautiful touch from Webb. 10 serving 11. Kind of feel the momentum shifted to the Canadians here. But that's a half out. Commentators curse. Second server, 10-11. 5 points away from this match are Canada. Make that 4 points. Costa Rica do have a timeout left. They are given 2. Costa Rica have no appeals remaining. And guess what? They have no appeals remaining. It was a clean shot. We all saw it, and they can't appeal it because they ran out of appeals. There's a lesson that you keep an appeal for when you're absolutely sure and it's on the line. 12-11. And I'm not sure what he did. Hit himself? Costa Rica need to take a timeout here. Yeah, after this technical, you could just see the momentum shifted completely over to Canada. They were down 8-11 after the technical, and now they've gained 5 points in a row and are 2 points away from this match. Costa Rica obviously need a side out. You can see both sets of coaches huddled over their players, offering advice. What drama. What a way to finish this day. Reminder, we'll be back tomorrow for multiple finals, and we hope you join us because we have some terrific matches up for you. Of course, Mexico are trying to claim the team title once again, but Bolivia and the U.S. are fighting hard to stay in it as well. We'll provide that schedule to you as soon as we know it, but again, remember these players are competing for a junior world title. This is a semifinal, boys 18. Trevor Webb on the right. It's his last tournament at the World Juniors, and he wants to go home with a gold medal. (13-11). 14-11. Suddenly you can hear all the crowd getting into it. An hour and 20 minutes for 2 games. Game match point number 1. Montero. Oh my goodness. He skips it. Canada win both games 15-11, 15-11. I think we're going to be discussing some of these rules late into the evening. I hope you enjoyed the drama. From myself, Tim Baghurst, and all of the crew here, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.